Going live early. This one's for you, Robbie.
Every motherfucking problem was trying to do, trying to be, but my focus keeps slipping from me.
Screens call my name, but I know who's to blame. It's not them, it's the choices I make. Time to learn how to take it all back. We're lollydabbing through books, finding what's true, learning the tools that can carry us through. This month's story shows how we grow. Indistractable is the way to go. We're indistractable, unstoppable. Traction makes the mission possible. Distraction's just an itch in disguise. With the trigger we can recognize. Make a plan, set the stage. Keep your mind from the endless cage. From values to time, from traction to mind. We decide how we live every day. Build the focus that never will fade. We're lollydabbing through books, finding what's true, learning the tools that can carry us through. This month's story shows how we grow. Indistractable is the way to go. We're indistractable, unstoppable. Traction makes the mission possible. We're lollydabbing through books, finding what's true, learning tools that can carry us through. This month's story shows how we grow. Indistractable is the way to go. We're indistractable, unstoppable. Traction makes the mission possible. Distraction's just an itch in disguise. With the trigger we can recognize. Make a plan, set the stage. Keep your mind from the endless cage. From values to time, from traction to mind. We design how we live every day. Build the focus that never will fade. Lollydabbing through books, indistractable. Take back your focus, take back your look. We're lollydabbing through books.
Well, where'd we go? I did that wrong. But it said, okay, here we go. There we are. Streaming is dynamic. It doesn't matter how many months I do this, still manage to fuck it up every now and then. You are on mute, Richard. Richard, you're muted.
That's a good thing that I was muted because I was saying some incredibly nasty stuff. So that's not true.
That tracks.
So what did you do for last week? Did you have fun?
Last week was my daughter's birthday, and we actually had kind of like a two-parter to her birthday. So the first part, we went up and had lunch with Mike, and also her male friend, not to be confused with a boyfriend, but a friend who is a boy, who has been there for a lot of the last year.
Cool.
It's very, very nice. It's been nice having him as somebody that she can also turn to.
Clearly, he's hanging out for the right reasons. So
yeah,
there you
he's
go.
Hanging out for the right reasons. They insist they're not dating. Fine. I think me and my partner did that for like 5 years.
Hey, everybody's entitled to their fantasies. It's all right.
right. And they're, they both, I think attempt to see other people, but then
it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm not here to comment on that.
See, the lie I tell myself is that I'm perfectly satisfied with being single the rest of my life and not having a partner again. That's my personal lie.
Yeah, and
because as I say it, I know it's not true, but I say it all the time.
You'd probably be okay, but it'd also be nice. Both things.
A more correct way to say it was I do not need a significant other or a partner. But I would desire.
You're not writing off the opportunities should they arise.
There you go.
And I think that that's healthy. If you go back and you listen to our discussions, wow, that was a long time ago now. I haven't even rewatched those. Maybe we should revisit
There's many
those.
things ago.
many moons ago. We did in February. We did a little series about relationship and what it means to be in a relationship with yourself and with somebody else intimately, and what the relationship with your friends. Because as we learned in the very next series that we did, is that humans require other humans to be humany.
What?
We do.
Bullshit.
We do. And then we learned yeah, right? And so yes, having a close partner is nice. It's nice, but also it's not required, I think. If
I have
if
a very close female friend who we've known each other for 15 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the beach together. We have been intimate with one another in the past, but not in any time recently. Mm-hmm. We just genuinely enjoy each other's company. We don't call it a relationship. We don't call it anything. She calls me her friend. I call her my friend, and we go and do stuff together. That's how that works. She's not interested as I am not interested, so to speak. Mm-hmm. We meet there. She's got no use for men in her life at this point.
Yeah. Except for you. You must be exceptional.
Well, what I mean by that is she's not interested in an intimate relationship with the male. But she wants an intimate relationship with someone who is friendly.
Yes.
So
I think that it takes all kinds of humans to human.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just another example of how things fit together in odd ways that don't fit the social norm.
Yeah. And I think that if there's one thing we could pass on to younger folks, is that it doesn't have to be a certain trajectory. And I think especially seeing Abby with her struggles with her mental health, I think that this sort of pop culture idea that comes at us, and myself included when I was that age.
We're inundated
in this way.
It smashes us in the face every day.
Yeah, and whether it's, I'm not going to blame it on social media. I'm not going to blame it on movies. I'm not going to blame it on Disney princesses.
It's the state of the world. It doesn't matter. It is the state of the world at this point.
An amalgamation? Is that
there you go. That's
amalgamation of all the things and what it means to be human. I mean, when you look at evolution, we have evolved to think that this certain trajectory is how we survive.
That only happened after the Earth got round. When it was flat, we didn't evolve at all.
We didn't have these problems when the Earth
was Sorry, it's my job. Comic relief.
Round Earthers problem. Okay.
But we can't get too serious. People out there might get complexed.
Yeah, they might click away because they think, oh, these people are really
we're just here to have fun and talk about life. That's why we're here.
But we're fed, and I think it's not so much fed, but I think we've evolved into this idea of how we should be, in a very general sense, and I think that we stick to what we know for those reasons. We know is you meet people, you do the thing, you have the babies, you die.
Yep. That's my Santa mug, and it's as commercial as it's ever been. I love the idea of Santa Claus. I don't think Christmas has dick to do with Jesus Christ. I think Jesus Christ would be disgusted with Christmas as being his day. But anyway, be that as it may, I love the idea of Santa Claus, and I am a Santa Claus fan and freak. And that is why that's my favorite mug. But people see that and they immediately think that I'm into the commercialization of Christmas and that's all that it's about. And I want, I just want.
Oh, I immediately thought it was a self-portrait. I didn't associate it with Santa Claus at all. I just thought,
I know if it would just turn white. If it would just turn white. I don't have the balls to try and peroxide bleach it because I've seen the horror stories where red hair turns bright orange like Carrot Top shit. I'm not interested in having a Carrot Top head on my beard face.
That's a new level to aging gracefully. I just want to get older faster so I can play Santa Claus.
I don't know. The face could stay the same. I just want the hair to be white. I would be Santa Claus every fucking day. I'm not even kidding. I would dress in Hawaiian shirts and shorts
just
with
be
the
like,
whole
Sandy's on
Santa
vacation
hat
right now.
thing going on, or a Santa looking. I'm not even kidding. I would so love to do that. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Okay, so I was
Rabbit
going with
hole.
all right, yeah. So the trajectory, we can ignore the sort of, but we have to understand that I think that it's like this really ingrained sort of evolutionary biological response that is reinforced by social imagery, right? So
Yeah.
there's that. And then so where was I? Oh yeah, lunch with Abby on Monday. We are one day in. And then we went to a comedy club on Friday. And she's always really
Nice.
anxious about her birthday. And she's had categorically a bad run of birthdays. I can agree with
That's
that.
no
There's
fun.
evidence out there. But what we were able to do this year is kind of create evidence that she can have a good time on her birthday. And she did. She dressed up in a little blue dress. We went to a comedy show. It was a lot of fun. She got to hang out with a good friend of hers who also had a lot of fun. And I think that
That's what it's all about.
yeah, and she didn't feel she had as much fun as she knew she could physically and mentally handle, and I don't think she felt lack.
Yeah.
And sometimes she's really like, this is all I can handle, and so it feels like I'm missing out on
That's
something. I'm
completely
lacking.
legitimate, and it's good that she's learning those limits and
Yeah.
able to voice them.
Yes, and that she's able to say, you know what, I had as much fun as I could handle. And sure, it wasn't your typical weekend of partying like most 22-year-olds may do. But it definitely gave her a sense of celebration that she can now hold on to as I've had a really good birthday, which I know that sounds silly, but
it's not.
And it's not. I mean, when you think about her age, like she should feel like she could go balls to the wall for a certain. I mean, like I don't care anymore about my birthday, but
yeah, I'm the same way.
But at the same time, I do notice that there is like a biological reaction to my birthday. So like mentally and logically, I don't really give a shit. I don't give a shit. But there are birthdays that I've had that I have like this biological reaction to where like when I turned 40, I was really sad. And I was like, but I don't care about turning 40. It wasn't
my
that.
40s was my best decade.
And I don't have anything like empirically wrong with
Although
it.
my 60s are shaping up to be pretty fucking good.
Pretty fucking good too, I bet. Yeah. It just felt like at that moment, in that day, in that time, I was really having a lack of vision as to where I was going to be 5 years from then. And I'd always kind of had this kind of rolling 5-year plan, nothing that I've outwardly accomplished. And I could be like, well, I had a 5-year plan. I did this, this, and this. And then I accomplished it. And so now it was like all these sort of 5-year plans had kind of fallen apart on me. And it just kind of came to a head on my 40th birthday. And I was just like, what am I doing?
So it was circumstantial as much as it was biological. I mean, it was a combination of the two. It was
kind of just like where my brain was and where my life was in that moment.
Yep.
I hadn't started cooking again. And cooking really does give me like this sense of accomplishment because I am good at what I do. Even if I don't want to be doing it, it is this sense of accomplishment. I am good at what I do. Still don't want.
Interesting you say that.
Is it? All right. So we are diving into. So that's what I did. Let me ask you, what did you do? What did you do? I of course listened to the book for the 150th time, but that doesn't matter.
I didn't do anything spectacular until this last Thursday. Basically was just couch potatoing at home, and couch potato means I'm sitting in this chair digesting what's on my screens.
Fine.
And then on Thursday, I went to Cheap Trick with my friends at the Oregon State Fair. It was a bucket list. It's checked off now. There really are 70-year-old people trying to do what they did when they were 20 on the stage, and didn't quite work. Just that I was great to see them. It was cool.
On the state fair circuit, so that's
yeah. And they announced their new album. And shortly after that, I left to go walk around the Midway. But anyway, I had a great time with my friends. That's where I was going with that.
Yes.
My friends, they took me there. I had deep fried Oreos for the very first time. Let me tell you.
Wait, were you and your friends also 70-year-olds trying to do what you did when you were 20?
No.
Okay.
We were 60-year-olds doing what 60-year-olds do. Which is walk around and eat stuff they're not supposed to eat and do things that are fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But anyway, I had a deep fried Oreos for the first time and a corn dog. That was dinner. Great dinner. I highly recommend it.
So bad for you.
But and then I just stayed at their house for the entire weekend, hung out, went Saturday, hung out with the dogs so they could go to some Halloween fair. Like a sale.
It is September, sir. It is September.
You don't understand, my friends. You have to understand the essences of Halloween is within them.
Yes.
They embrace this
all year
365 days a year. So, yeah, as soon as anything Halloween comes up, they're on it. And this was it was a trade fair, really, at a local park. And so they went to that, spent a couple hours. I hung out with the dog. And then Sunday, I took Chuck to his to get his latest tattoo.
What's up, Chuck? God, I love that. I love that.
I know. It's I'm sure he's never heard that before.
No, never. But also never gets old for the person saying it. Never.
Right. Never. But that was my weekend. That was what I did. I hung out with friends. I did fun things. My friend's son, he's almost like a son of mine, gave me a little jar of dabs and some edibles. So edibles are fantastic. I ate them earlier and they're great.
So we've got the edible Richard. Excellent. Let's get esoteric.
It's not that much different than the regular Richard.
I don't suspect it is.
You are a smart lady.
I have my moments. So in this journey, I heard you made it through some of the book. Specifically part one, which is master your internal triggers. And you had some time to kind of contemplate that, huh?
Well, boy, I did. I can sum that chapter up for myself. Everybody's going to have a little bit different experience if they do this, but I can sum that chapter up with my decision to live my life intentionally and to start doing things. And in that, I changed my thinking. I decided whether the hard work was worth it or not, but whether it was worth doing for me personally. Work hard, work not hard didn't matter. That wasn't part of the equation. And I proved that to myself this weekend. I intentionally left this out of my little story a minute ago because to go and do this, my friend sent me $20. And for that $20, because they know how I am, I did a deep clean on their main bathroom that their son uses, who really doesn't give a shit about a clean bathroom. And I spent an hour. I was sweaty all the way through my shirt, shorts, and stuff. And that was very satisfying to do that. I had forgotten how good it was to decide to do something difficult simply to do it and to have it be done. And very satisfying at the end of it. And that's kind of what this is all about for me.
Yeah. And act of service is your love language. So it wasn't like you were motivated to, here, I'm going to just highlight that. One of the tick marks of this section is all motivation is a desire to escape discomfort.
Yep.
If you're using it as such. So that was more of a satisfaction, if I'm hearing you correctly, of a job well done. And
right, but it's still an escape from discomfort. it's still an escape from discomfort for
So,
me,
are
100%, because
are
I
you
am
saying you did
using
it because you felt like you needed to earn that $20?
combination of both.
Okay.
My initial going into it was that's well worth it to have $20 to be able to put some gas in my bike and have it be more than enough to go multiple times to go and visit. Big
Okay.
payoff. And then in the doing of it, so I realized that I did it for the wrong-ish reason. I don't, wrong is kind of relative. It's not even. It's
in the context of
I
our
was trying
conversation,
to
we'll call it
escape
a
the
less
feeling
useful.
of being indebted to my friend by doing the
Right.
bathroom work. But the
Yes,
result
it's
of
useful or
doing the
not useful
bathroom
in the
work
context of our conversation. There's no right or wrong. It's useful or not
had
useful.
nothing to do with that debt feeling.
Mhm.
It had to do with personal satisfaction with having done a job, done it well, and having made a difference for my friends.
That other people can enjoy, because we can do that for ourselves. We can make a difference
yeah.
for ourselves that we can
Sure
enjoy.
can.
But also, like, honestly, I could give a rip unless I have company coming over. I don't give a rip about a lot of things like that until I'm like have somebody else in my house and I'm like,
No,
oh,
I left here for 4 days and my dishes were dirty in the sink.
I am notorious for that. Every
But
time I
I'm
leave
not
here-
here. What the fuck do I care? And I got back here and it gave me something to do to get back into the rhythm of stuff. It
Yeah.
wasn't like there was food.
Yeah.
It just were dirty dishes with a little bit of, food debris on them. So,
right. I always
hey, Mr. Smith, welcome, my brother.
What? I was
Welcome.
just
1,
thinking
2,
about you.
3,
I was watching this
4.
drummer on YouTube and I was
Wait a
like,
minute.
what Mr. Smith is up to.
Wait, can I do
Mr.
this?
Smith.
Ha ha! Play with my sticks all the time, brother.
You nailed it.
Hello,
You
Mr.
nailed
Smith.
it.
Welcome.
Welcome, Mr. Smith.
Anyway, I digress. It's my
Yes.
job.
So we talked
So
about
yes, I
motivation.
agree with that statement 100% because I originally did it. Okay, yeah, I feel all right about taking the $20 because I'm going to clean her bathroom that she's just sick of trying to keep up with. And at the end of it, I went, wow, it felt really good personally to finish cleaning that bathroom.
Yeah. And that's yeah, and it really is a combination of things when it comes to our motivations, isn't it? Because I'm kind of reflecting on things that I do at work. And like I do them because I feel a couple of things. Like somebody else can't possibly do it like I can. That's
I
one.
can relate.
And the other thing is if I don't do it, it won't get done. If I do this, people will appreciate
Echo in
me.
here?
There's a little bit of a feedback loop.
No, I was being facetious about you reflecting what is in my brain when I do a job.
Right. Fair. But then also there is just like nothing beats. Like all of those things are kind of like those are the things that get me started, but they are not the things that keep me going. What keeps me going? And this is what I think is the difference between like an external and an internal motivation and how they kind of work together. And we really kind of spent a lot of time with intrinsic and extrinsic motivations in the Art of Impossible. But I think here's where like the real life kind of comes
meat and potatoes
handy. Yeah. And that is like, that's where I start. But then like, why do I finish things? It's for this sort of sense of accomplishment for myself. And the same goes for like, when it comes, this book is primarily about not allowing yourself to get distracted by your phone or your devices.
The premise, yes, but
the premise
I
is,
take it in a completely different context. And for me, it's about
because when I am on my phone or my device, it is usually for educational and or I have learned through other sort of tools. Like if I want to set aside time to buffer and just watch Glee, I will. Also, I had to do some real mundane tasks this week at work, and it was just repetition. And I just set up my phone and put up my earbud, and I could just stand there and do what I was doing and watch TV. Like, I get paid. I get paid to watch
Planning
TV.
to waste time.
Planning to waste time
is not wasted time.
It's not. It's not wasted time, and it's sort of like an unplugging. Because I think sometimes we just need a break. And I think there's a difference between using it to avoid or using it to take a break. And then
when I ride.
Making the decision, I think a big thing is like a decision ahead of time. If you make your decision ahead of time, like I am going to do X, Y, Z, whatever it is at this time, whether it's watch TV or do your dishes or do whatever. Do whatever the thing is. If you decide it ahead of time and then do it, then you have accomplished what you set out to do. Where you have to be careful is if you're like, I want to do this at this time, and then you don't do it. There is something how it does psychologically kind of harm us over time. And you do end up beating yourself up and then other people help to reinforce it. You're lazy, you're disorganized, you're procrastinator, you know. And I am my own worst enemy, but also that trickles out into our relationships, right? Because that's what we like.
Trickles to talk out into every facet of our life.
Right. How we feel about ourselves is how other people reflect back to us in a lot of ways, right? You know, and I told myself I was going to do 3 things today. I haven't done the last thing yet, but there's still time. You know, and other than that, like I took a nap. I did some DoorDash this morning. Like I'm feeling pretty fucking accomplished. I showed up to this. I started the stream early. Okay.
I started going over my cover letter and resume for my prospective employers. Reworded my cover letter completely. Nothing is the same. And I've added to my resume, but the resume is the resume. It's really the cover letter is what I have really spent the time tweaking, thinking about, reading. I cannot tell you how many times I have read my cover letter. But
well, and you could actually tweak, highlight in your resume your different skill sets.
That's exactly what I've done.
Yeah, it's just a matter of like rearranging, and then because you only want so many words per, like you pull this thing out and plug this other thing, it's all relevant. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, you like that one?
Oh, Robbie, you are so much better than the ChatGPT summaries. It's my fave. It's my fave.
He's the bestest. He's the bestest.
I popped on to the end of Wendy's stream. Like,
he tattled on you. He told me you were there. I think I was sleeping. I don't know.
Oh, naps are good. Naps are good. I took a nap after Wendy's stream.
Did you take?
I woke myself up snoring. Anyways, that's.
Oh, that's awesome when you do that. What?
Yeah, my daughter said she watched me and laughed at me. It was really fun.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. Exercise 3. What motivates us really? So when let's see. What do we write down? Distraction. Okay. So remember the root cause of our distractions. Okay. So we kind of talked about that. Distraction is more about your devices. Separate proximate causes from the root cause. Okay, so at work, I found myself, I had to stop what I was doing and had to go up online and help them online. And that was necessary, but also I found it hard to put myself back into like my meditative, like repetition task state of mind, because it is very much more exciting to kind of be just like standing there waiting for an order to come in and joking around. And like, it was really hard for me to kind of pull myself back into like my space of like, boom, 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 getting shit done.
I hated to take breaks and go to lunch. Same exact reason.
Yeah, and it's hard when you take a break and you go to lunch, so to speak, and that's essentially what I did. Yeah. And so the distraction wasn't that I had to go work on the line. It didn't distract me. It was the energy of interacting with other coworkers instead of just putting my head down.
Yeah.
And so that was really the root cause of that distraction and why I wasn't able to really get back into it. the way that I had kind of been in it before I went and worked
yeah.
on the line.
Absolutely.
And so, which, you know, is understandable and fine, but also it did take me a little while. I did spend some time avoiding the discomfort of having to like stand and do something for a long period of time. And I found that the energy and the movement of being on the line was kind of addictive because it is uncomfortable to just kind of like get in the zone, even though at the end of the task I felt really rewarded, but to get in the zone and do the thing. And I probably wasted 20 or 30 minutes just trying to get back into that headspace. You know, like I went out and I smoked 2 cigarettes before I could get started again, and then kind of like chit chatted with some people, and you know, and then finally was like, okay, just I knew once I started again, I'd be able to, you know, just plow through it. But it took a minute, and that's because like distracting myself with little things that weren't really moving the needle. I really found that. Ironically, it was putting a show back on my device. This is where the irony comes in. Putting a show on my device so I would be forced to stand there in order to be able to see it was actually what got me back into it. So there's that. Right. There's that.
But you weren't watching that for entertainment. You were watching it because you knew you would look at it, but you would also become busy.
Yeah, because this particular task, like I was taking, like we do vacuum sealing on our stuff so we can sous vide it, which is put it in like a water bath. Right. And so I had over 100 of these flank steaks that I had to stuff into these bags and like. Yep.
I was going to say flank steaks and some fish I love sous vide for that. It's very repetitious work. Very.
And I literally didn't need, like you fold all the bags down. So I had to fold down, you know, over 100 bags, and then you do some of them, and then you have to wipe the edge and fold the bag back up, and then put them in the thing. And like sometimes once I get through all of the bagging process and I have it all wiped off and I'm just feeding them through, I can do like a separate task in between. But like this was just over 100 flank steaks, just over and over. So like in order for me to get back into that rhythm, I really did have to put something in front of me. Like it couldn't even be just an audio podcast. Like I needed something to watch in order to be able to do this, which, you know, again, kind of counterintuitive for the reason that this book was written. But also I had to understand like that was like the distraction in exercise 3 here was being social and you know, the root cause of that was like other people, just kind of like the excitement, and then like the avoidance of doing the thing. You know,
yep. It's about perspective in many ways. Thinking of a job, like I said earlier, as hard or not hard, if you can frame it in such a way that it becomes something fun or useful, you're much more likely to not only start doing it, but dare I say, enjoy the work.
Oh yeah, no, I fully enjoyed my work, and also I enjoyed watching episodes of Glee.
But getting started was the difficult part because of that initial distraction of the social interaction, of the others in your space.
Like we did kind of get like this really big push that we weren't expecting. So there's like this adrenaline come down too. That was taking a little while for my body to resettle, and like when you are
the pace changes, you have to adjust to that new pace. Yeah, you know, and when it slows down, you have to do the same thing in reverse.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier for me to ramp up than it is for me to ramp down. And that's
way easier to ramp up.
Because like I was able to come in and I was like,
we call it defrag time when I would get home from work. Yeah. I need my defrag. Don't talk to me. Don't tell me about nothing good, bad.
Just I love
Just
a long
let me
I love a long
defrag.
commute for that, because if I have a long
Yep.
commute, then I'm ready to go right into it. But like
Yep,
with a
that's it.
short
I
commute,
had
I'm
very
like,
long, 30 plus miles on most of my commutes. So
yeah,
I had
and
a
that's
lot
nice.
of
It
time
actually
to
gives me a
defrag.
lot of defrag time in a
Mhm.
commute. Sometimes I would ride with like zero sound for 45 minutes, just
Yep.
sound
I
of the road.
rarely listen to the radio for anything unless I am either GPS or I am listening to music. I do that on the bike because it helps keep me focused. I know that sounds weird, but the
No,
music does help me keep focused on the road better. So
that's how I feel about books and podcasts. The talking actually helps me stay better focused on the road, unless I had a really intense day and a lot of things, and I just need to let my brain run its course until it gets to the where all I'm hearing is, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to put something on now.
I noticed that he's got the root cause 1, root cause 2, root cause 3. There does not always have to be an answer for all 3 of those.
I just don't think there is. I think pushing yourself, it's kind of like the 5 whys.
Yes.
Some of these exercises, like if you force yourself to ask why on all, like it's, and that's
it
kind
can
of what
become a
this is.
distraction in and of itself.
Yes, but also there's something magical about that 5th why, and also having somebody else ask you those questions, and you have to audible them out loud.
Right.
Like, if you were to put your distraction as the quote unquote problem, and that being the problem is I didn't get my work done. Well, why? Well, because I went to work on the line. Well, why? Because they needed me on the line. Well, why? Because
right. There is always a why. It doesn't matter what the answer is to the previous why.
Yeah.
There is always
and then getting down in there
why.
that I've been like, oh, but I stayed there because I stayed on the line longer was necessary and I didn't get back into my work.
Yeah.
Would have been like the 5th one, like you can really futz around in there a lot and
right.
feel
but
like
you don't have to. If you find an answer that's if you find an answer that's satisfactory at number 2, you can be done. It's okay.
Yeah, just make sure
don't feel like you have to chase it if you don't want to. If you're not satisfied with the answer, chase it.
Yeah, well, and also, like, I think it comes like, I think the idea is just don't always settle with what is the first thing that pops into your head, because we lie to ourselves. And I think like pushing yourself to find more than one root cause.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that you can get stuck in trying to find a root cause for the root cause for the root cause for the root cause.
Yeah, it depends on what your personality innately is. If you feel like you have to fill in all
for me, it could become a rabbit hole.
Yeah. And so like limit 3 for you, but for me it's like dig a little deeper. And it's not always the first thing that pops into my head, because I lie to myself. We all do. Yep. And like the root cause one, like I could have, if I had just stopped with, I went to work on the line because they needed me on the line, then I could be like, and that's why I didn't finish my work. It's like, well, very justifiable.
Oversimplification of the reality, but still justifiable.
And the reality was I was having a hard time recentering myself. I was having a hard time kind of coming down off the adrenaline. Could I have gone back to my work right away? Yes, I could have, but instead I allowed for the kind of energy to be there where I, went to smoke a cigarette, and then I had to do like a couple of like little things that were really not moving the needle. And then we ended up being there a little bit later. And actually I ended up clocking off, and Abby stayed on the clock and she helped me. But I ended up doing work off the clock because I was like, I know that this half hour didn't have to be like, I'm going to be accountable for the half hour that I wasted. So I clocked off for the last hour that I needed to finish what I was doing, which people are like, don't do that. You should never clock off. And I'm like, yeah, but also that's on me. That's on me, because I could have gotten it done, but I allowed myself to be distracted by my mindset and by what was going on and all the things. So time management is pain management. And so distractions cost us time, but literally this distraction cost me some money. Right. Because I could have.
The consequence can change. I mean, the loss of money can be described as a pain.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, maybe I could have used that time and gotten paid for the, like justified the overtime for myself and to my boss, that I've been like, well, I did one more project instead of just like, I'm finishing this other thing that I could have had done a half hour ago.
Mhm.
And it's just, I think a lot of self accountability. This is really helps with this whole book really helps me with self accountability. And I think that worrying about ourselves it can be somewhat belly button gazing, where we're just like, oh, there's this, I'm fixing this and doing this with me, but also is really kind of important in how we relate to others. And if we feel good about what we've done, like I felt good about pushing through and finishing that task.
I felt, even though I was all sweaty and tired and I'm sore today, I felt the same way about doing that bathroom when I was finished with it. Like, the payoff was totally different than I expected. The payoff, the $20 didn't even matter.
Yeah. So like I kind of went through these 4 psychological factors that made like me not returning to my task feel good, which is, I was bored doing it. I wasn't going to get it done anyways. Thinking about other things that I could be doing, things that were more fun. I managed to stay pretty satisfied during that half hour or whatever. But after I kind of like identified those and pushed through them, I was like, but also this has more lasting.
I completely agree with the satisfaction being temporary, that we will never ever find satisfaction that lasts. It doesn't mean we're going to hate the thing that satisfied us before, but we're going to seek something else, satisfaction in a different area, a different thing, a different substance, whatever and substance can mean food, it can mean grass, it can mean plants. I mean, the substance can be anything.
Well, and I love here too that he says right here, dissatisfaction is responsible for our species' advancements, but also we have to really balance that dealing with discomfort in order to have advancements that are positive, that are definitely more positive. If we're just knee jerking to get out of discomfort, we end up with some really poor results.
Hey, Dimebag, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, my friend.
Discomfort is a part of our reality, whether it's social discomfort or physical discomfort. We are uncomfortable. And there are some real innovations that have come from trying to solve those discomforts. But just because we've solved it doesn't mean we need to use that tool every time. And I think that's a real key. Just because we solved it, just because you figured out that you could get satisfaction by cleaning a friend's bathroom doesn't mean that you're required to clean a friend's bathroom every time they gift you with $20.
Exactly. Yeah.
Period. End of story. Some people just want to give. Some people just want to give.
And well, so, and in that way, that's my foster the cats thing.
Yep.
I just want to give. I don't seek to get anything from that. The personal satisfaction is what I seek. That is the reward.
Working on a big project. I kind of have a big project that I'm kind of doing in the background. I've hooked up with a lady who does scalp strengths coaching, and I'm working on some of her stuff, and she's done some coaching for me about my strengths, which I really enjoyed doing with her. But I haven't, to be fair, I haven't like avoided a scheduled time that I wanted to work on it. It's just kind of been like this. Okay, I need to sit down and look at that again. But also like the way my last week has gone, like I've been very, very tired. Very, very tired. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do it just for the sake of doing it, but I also put off scheduling another coaching session with her. And we also knew that this was going to be kind of a hit and miss like thing, because we are trading like my time for her time. And so it's not as if I owe it to her, but also, I can't progress on the coaching she's, trading me if I don't.
It's basically a barter agreement.
It is, but also there is this kind of long scheme. If I can get her marketing in a different way that garners her some results, that I'm getting my name on the books, and she will refer me out to other coaches that she knows. She actually has a network. So if I can get her some results, but also I am tired. Like the idea of getting like, I kind of need to be in a little bit of a mindset to start picking away at that again. And it's
Makes
fine.
sense.
We've done some things. I want to pull some. I don't need to go down my laundry list of things that I'm going to do.
No,
for her,
you
but,
don't.
But also I know too that once I sit down to do it, I'm very quick.
Yeah. I've been setting up for a large project myself. I'm going to rebuild the carburetors for the Goldwing so that we can try and get rid of that thing.
Yeah. And sometimes I have to spend time in here before I can spend the action time.
Yep.
And so it just kind of marinates.
Yeah. And that's, matter of fact, my friend asked me this while I was there. He said, "Have you started on them yet?" I said, "No, but that's this week's project. That's going to begin this week." And he says, "Well, you should film it because we had the problem with previous carburetors, not the carburetors themselves, but the linkage that makes all four work together.
Mm-hmm.
That was the problem." So he said, "You should film it." I said, "Dude, I got my camera set up at my workbench, a long USB cord, so I can record all the disassembly. This will not happen again. I will be able to go back and reference exactly what's going on."
Exactly what I did.
So, but it is a large project to do that because I had to find the cord and get the camera set up and figure out where it was going to be, try and get the lighting halfway decent because all that's over there is my plant light. Yeah, it was a challenge, and it's not finished yet.
Yeah. You know, it's funny too that you say it because you're kind of like front loading what it is that you're going to need. You're like, I'm going to work on my carburetor. And then you spend the whole fucking time fucking around with your camera. You're like, I have to get the camera set up in order to do the thing. So you haven't necessarily scheduled the time to work on the carburetor. You're like scheduled the time to set up the camera to work on the carburetor.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important too, is that we just got to understand all the things that kind of need to come in front of the thing that we actually want to do and make sure that we're kind of building those into the time in our day or the time in our week.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where I'm at with the project that I'm working on. It's like, well, okay, I need to finish some like Canva type graphic things for her, but also what I really want to do is I want to go through the video that we made of my first coaching session and pull out some of the really genius things that she said in that video so that I can use those as her assets as well. And build that into some like little videos and stuff, and then just build out.
We learned that
really
in Art of Impossible. He talked about that very thing. When you're interviewing someone or doing something for someone, you reflect back what nobody else is reflecting. Talk about the things that nobody else notices. It's exactly what you're doing.
And my brain just needs the time to do it. And what's really great is because she knows what my top 5 strengths are and how kind of internalized they are. She really gets that it's like this, and then bam, knock a bunch of shit out. And so that is fun for me that she kind of understands what my strengths are. And that my strengths are going to be more about the thinking and the ideation, and getting a plan together so that she can hire somebody who can knock out shit on Fiverr really fast. And I can come up with a basic baseline with some things, but also it's like, how did I do it so it's repeatable? Yeah. So reimagine the internal trigger. So what did you think about like these sort of ideas? Because you said you read the 6th chapter at least twice. You said you were on the 5th chapter for the 3rd time. But tell me a little bit about this.
The harder part of this was breaking it down in my own brain, not the actual doing of it, but trying to. I don't. How do I put this? I try to avoid emotion from habit. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you've had some big emotions that have been a problem in your, or not useful. Not useful.
Yes, exactly. So
now you're kind of on the other side of it, and you have to kind of let it.
And I gotta learn. I have to sit. Sometimes step 1 is one of the most difficult things for me to do because I might have to sit and think about that 4 or 5 times for 10 or 15 minutes at a time over a course of XYZ days, weeks, whatever, before I come to a conclusion about that very thing. What emotion can I attach to that distraction? I don't know. Now, once I've got there, writing down the internal triggers, not a big deal. That's pretty freaking easy. But then we get to exploring the negative. See, it's pieces of it are simple for me.
Mm-hmm.
Other pieces of it are incredibly complicated. And for somebody else, they might look at this list and go, why the fuck would you have any trouble with step 1? That's fucking cake. 5-year-old could do that.
Well, but I think also emotion is something that happens within us. I think it's really easy to write down a trigger like somebody outside of me, a coworker, was talking to me. But really the emotion that made it so that I stayed in that conversation as opposed to getting back to what I was doing, the emotion is feeling accepted.
Mm-hmm. Or
this coworker wants to talk to me, and I want to please them. I want to please them by continuing the conversation instead of setting a boundary and being like, okay, cool. I got to go finish this thing that I'm doing back over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so the emotion is like really kind of people pleasing.
Yeah.
Is that an emotion?
Yeah.
That's
I really enjoyed going through this. This kind of solidified for me the phraseology that I came up with living my life intentionally.
Yeah. And here, right here. It was a liminal moment.
Mm-hmm.
Transition from one thing to another.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Exactly
this book
in the way that
really resonates. But this book really resonates with me in really cool ways. Hello, puppy.
Hello, dogs. Yes, you are here.
I did this in my anger management class. We hated that it was called that. All of us, including the director.
Which is so funny because like this is something that is all the exercises in this book I have done in other ways, in other contexts and other things. So like, it's literally, you get to own it in a different way now. It's no longer anger management. It's now your Indistraction workbook. Right. I
didn't hate doing this or I'm not hating doing this. I'm just, for me, it's a parallel to make. I put a lot of work into changing who I was then into who I am now. So I want to equally put in as much work into continuing to improve who I am now that I'm on this new track.
Right. And how, I mean, and how relevant is anger when you are being distracted from what it is that you are trying to deal with?
Mm-hmm.
And anger was kind of your, or I guess like
that was my go-to power move.
External, but and I think you can be internally angry, and there's nothing wrong with anger in and of itself. It's the
anger is an emotion. Anger is legitimate.
It's legitimate.
That's why we hated
it's not about
as
not
abusers
being angry anymore.
Yeah,
it's about
that's
how
why
you
we hated being called anger management. You don't you feel anger, you don't manage it. It's the decision comes, and that's a lot of this intentional thinking he's been talking about in previous exercises. Yeah. That's how you figure that out.
It's a cognitive distortion is what it is. How you externalize it and how you feel like you need to vent it from your body in order to release the sensation of what anger feels like inside of your body. You have to externalize it. It's a cognitive distortion that says that you must externalize it in order to relieve it, like a pressure.
I agree
100%. People who say, I have to just vent. It's like, well, actually, you actually don't have to vent. You don't actually have to vent. You can choose to, and there are appropriate
everything's
times
a choice.
To do so.
Every single thing,
and there are appropriate venting moments. But venting because you don't know how to deal with frustration in your body to all the people about the same thing over and over again is not solving anything for you. It is not relieving how you feel.
Nope.
It's probably perpetuating it to a lot of ways.
But if you change the frame of that, you can. And here's how I'm doing something. I'm not the most patient person in the world. I like just get it done, be done. So I've been working on my patience, and here's how I decided to do it. Completely different way than I normally would. You know the poop games we talked about a couple weeks ago? You remember that funny little, I was talking about my poop games that I play for distraction. It was at the very beginning. Yes. I knew it would come to you. It comes to everyone. Anyway, I started intentionally choosing games that had a lot of advertisements in it. Why? because I have to wait for those advertisements to then play the game.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether I'm
then you're
pooping
like, well,
or not.
actually, I've been done
That's
pooping for
just a
15
joke.
minutes, so
Yeah.
I
So
should just get up and go. Yeah.
that is a new way, a new tool that I am using to increase my patience, because as I'm feeling impatient about those commercials and wanting them to be done, I have to practice things like taking a breath and realizing that I can relax even if I'm frustrated. I don't have to tense up I can.
Because the result could be constipation if it's a poop game.
Right. I love that we can make this analogy and bring it across, because it's funny,
mental health,
but it's still poops. It's, well, we're talking really, about people having life issues, dealing with serious depression,
and you don't learn how to relax. You're not.
These are real life issues, folks. These are real life issues that we're talking about here. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. But the work is worth it, is what I'm trying to say. Is I've been going through this and reading and rereading, and in my case, I'm listening and re-listening. But I thank you vehemently for the gift of this book. It's fantastic.
I'm glad you're so connected to it. It is very straightforward written, and it's very like. It's less sciencey, it's less nerdy, and it's less kind of existential. It's more specific. It's more specific than the other two books that we read.
Up my alley.
Yeah. So we kind of started with like these broad strokes, and then we got really nerdy sciencey with The Art of Impossible, a little bit existential, and then here we are like
this is real world stuff, and it's things that you can do. You don't have to do all of them. You don't have to do any of them. You can try one or two. See if they work. Maybe try this other one some other time. It works its way into your life. I didn't immediately get my own apartment and fix my budget, and that's a process that's happened, and I've had to learn new things and change old things. And this is exactly the same thing. It's just thinking instead of a physical space.
And the thinking and the contemplating and the exposure to ideas into a physical space where you're writing things down, you're actually doing you're pulling up your notebook. You don't have to do it on the worksheet, but when you're like, when I feel blah, 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 tend to blah, blah, blah. And like, these are all just like, and I'm a full proponent like of not necessarily diving right into the pencil.
Right next to me all the time. I have it all the time now, right next to me. I don't use it all the time.
But when this is like a thought process that's running in the background, and you start really kind of viewing your life in these sorts of statements and terms, it does kind of help you become more self-aware. And the more you realize, like, this is related to this book over here, which is related to this information over here, which is related to this mental health state or this study or this thing or this thing or this thing, and you just kind of have that all in your sort of toolbox to pull out, like, people, I think, even when they're trying to find tools to help them feel better, do more, have more, be more productive, have more friends, connect with people better, like they tend to get really fixated on one tool. And I think one of the main things that I really want to accomplish with this channel is this understanding that you have all the tools. You have all of these tools that are available to us in this world, and parts of all of them will work for you in one way or another, but you have to get out and you have to expose yourself to these. And in order to do that, you have to say to yourself, there is something better for me. Even if that something better is to live within a dime of your budget, or that something better is to feel good about yourself when you wake up in the morning, or to feel good for 10 minutes during your day. Listen, getting up in the morning, feeling good about yourself is harder than, it's hard. We all know it's harder than it sounds, right? But if you can find the 10 minutes in the day where you're like, I set out to do the thing, I finished the thing, I'm proud of myself for the thing, I have the self-compassion for the things that I cannot do, and I can find these spaces where my life feels out of control. I have the space where I can control it again. I can bring it back in. And it's a little things. It's not about how much money you make. And it's not about what you put out into the world. It's what you accomplish internally. And the steps and the progress that you make forward internally that really starts to reflect externally in like these really incremental ways. And you can't always see it right away. You can't see it until you look back over the last year. Because I didn't see any progress in my life from like reading all these books and gaining all this information. But when I look back, I'm like, wow, imagine if I didn't have all this sort of time and energy that I had spent gathering this information, I wouldn't be able to kind of use it in these really pressing times, because I thought that was hard then. It's harder now, but also I have way more tools, and I am grateful for the amount of time that I spent kind of going through these exercises, doing these things, and acknowledging this information from all these different sources. And now I get to share it with you guys.
Well, that's the fun part, is being able to share my experience with this, because people that think that none of this can or does apply to them, Robbie, is an incorrect state of mind. I don't care if a person such as Robbie would care to think those things about themselves, or that they were stuck or couldn't do anything, or that time was over. We've heard all of them, Robbie, and we love you every time you say them, because it gives us more ammunition.
Stop calling Robbie out. Robbie,
I love this guy. I love this guy, and he knows it. He knows it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that you can make decisions such as, and now I'm going to praise Robbie, so here you go. Such as going on to the program with Wendy this morning and just winging it through a song and doing a thing. He was off before you came on, but he was watching when you were on. But that's something that Robbie decided to do, and I'm very proud of him for that. And that's why I wanted to call him out in that way, because I also want to point out to him that you too can do new things, and fuck you.
Did you just call us a couple of in-bed tools?
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious. I love you, brother. That's hilarious. That's genius. That needs to be on a t-shirt, Robbie. Oh my God. Talk to Allie about that. She can make that work. Oh, bravo. Bravo. I love you, brother. Anyway, so that's why I did all that calling out of him, is because I'm so proud of him realizing he can do new and or different things. Doesn't have to be every day. Doesn't have to be all the time. But I'm very, very pleased to see that this is having effects on other people, even though we didn't know if it would. Yeah. Yes, you did finally got us. You did finally got us. Robbie. You got us, Robbie. Oh, my God, that was good. Oh, yeah, ChatGPT will never match that mind. Not in a million years. So.
I'm just reading back through some of his
freaking. Oh yeah, right. He's done some
for a
doozies
big treat
tonight.
if you read the live chat while you watch this, because Robbie just is off the rails, and we love him.
Oh,
we love him. We love him for that.
Beautiful stuff.
So thank you for our chat summaries.
We missed him when he wasn't able to be here, although we were very happy that he was.
Sorry, I started
on
early.
Show.
But technically, I started on time, but I set the live for. It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
It was a boo boo. We fixed it. Everybody's happy. We learned some stuff. You guys can take it or leave it, and we'll see you, the next time we come here, which will probably be next week. Oh, yeah, it will be next week.
Yeah. It'll be next week. We'll leave you wanting more. We're going to talk about part 2, Make Time for Traction. We didn't even make it all the way through part 1, but that's okay. Go look up the book. Go find the website. I'll try to get them into the descriptions. It's not going to happen tonight. All right. Love you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thoughts that flew like paper dolls, wrap it up and let it fall. Turn the volume down low, my friends. This chatter's come to an end. Till we gather again and again. Let these moments extend. Quiet, hear the clock tick tock. Words won't stop, but we'll walk the walk. Dream a little till the next talk. Out of time, let's unlock. Turn the volume we'll stop or we'll walk the walk. Dream a little till the next talk. Out of time, let's unlock. Turn the volume down low, my friends. This chatter's come to an end. Till we gather again and again. Let these moments extend. We signed in with open minds. Now we drift on the book of fine. Page by page until we bind sweet goodbyes. Let's unwind.